Hey everybody, welcome to Taco Tuesday. My name is Chef Mike Hargett, and I'm grateful and thankful for all you guys being here today for this epic event, aka Taco Tuesday, aka it's not every Tuesday, it can be every day. And if you hang around people who say that they only do Taco Tuesday on Tuesday, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. So you better check them and make sure that your taco gang is on point. You hear me? Again, like I said, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Callie and ekoLiving Apartments to be able to do this demo today. I'm very grateful to be able to be here today, to be able to do this virtually for you. Like I said, my name is Chef Mike Hargett. I'm also, a little bit about myself, I'm also a heart and kidney transplant recipient. And I'm also, it just keeps going, I'm also a hemophiliac, and now I'm the first hemophiliac in the world to have a double transplant. Fist bumps. Like, that's some pretty cool bragging rights, you know? It's all about your attitude. So I'm thankful that I get to do what I love and give back at the same time while cooking some delicious food. Because, I mean, come on, I know the way through people's heart is through their stomach. That's how I got my now fiance. Yes, I proposed during the pandemic and she said yes, which is I'm super grateful for, and I'm stoked to be able to spend the rest of my life with her. And that's how I got her, was cooking for her. So this should, instead of, you know, today I'll be making honey chipotle chicken tacos. This should be actually get yourself a partner chicken tacos. And that's the best part, is you can sub any type of protein you want. So if your partner is vegan, you can use tempeh or tofu. Or if you want to keep it vegetarian, you can totally do that and just bulk up the veggies. You can put in poblanos and roasted red peppers and onions and carrots and just bulk up the taco, and you're going to be so satiated because it's such a huge, delicious taco. So what we're first going to do is, for this amazing taco fiesta, is, like I said, we're going to make honey chipotle chicken tacos, quesadilla style. I'll explain that in a second. It's going to blow your mind, and it's going to be so delicious. Then on the side, we're doing a lighter, healthier elote. Those of you that are not familiar with elote is corn on the cob that's covered in like mayo or sour cream, and then cotija cheese, and then like a chili and lime, which is delicious. I mean, come on, if you cover anything with mayo and sour cream and some cheese, like you could cover my shoe in that and it would be amazing. But we're gonna lighten it up. You know, you can't eat that stuff every day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lighten it up, make it a little healthier, but it's gonna be delicious. We're not gonna sacrifice any food, and that's me on a mission as a heart recipient to cook heart-healthy food, but also to make heart-healthy food delicious. People think as soon as you say heart-healthy or low sodium, it just, flavor goes out the window. It's like, I might as well, you know, just put any type of seasoning on because it's not gonna make a difference. That's wrong. One of the key things is when you do it, you have to make sure that you increase like the acidity. So like lemon and lime juice, that really helps to bump up the flavor where you don't have to add as much salt. Then you can add in more garlic seasoning. Chilies is a good one. I feel like that if you're not sweating a little bit, you're not eating right. But you can definitely tone it down if you'd like. So in this recipe, we have some jalapenos. So, you know, if you want to take out the ribs and the seeds, you can do that too, because all the heat is in the veins of the chili. Or you can go big and just put a whole jalapeno, seeds and ribs, and the flesh in, and you'll be set to go. So without further ado, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started on the marinade for the honey chipotle chicken tacos. I know, I named this chicken, but can you guys guess what the two main ingredients are in this chicken? That's right, honey and chipotles and adobo. That's it. I'm out, that's it. Honey chipotle, so you got the sweet from the honey. Chipotle is smoky and spicy. So when you combine those together, it's like a flavor explosion. It's actually like a 5K rager in your mouth. That's what we're going for today. And to be able to do that, we're gonna start with the marinade. Now this is a really simple marinade. You can marinate tofu, you can marinate fish, you can marinate chicken, beef, and then grill it. It's really versatile. Or you can throw it in some veggies. I've done it with broccoli, and then marinate them and then char them on the grill, and that's super delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started with 2 tablespoons of adobo sauce. That's what this red sauce is. So chipotles and adobo, they come in a can. You can get them in the ethnic aisle. Usually they come in this vinegary red sauce. That's my favorite. I marinate wings in it, or you can marinate vegetables in it. But it's a smoky spice. So it has some heat, but if you just use the liquid and not the peppers, it's not gonna be that hot because you're not gonna break open those smoked chipotles. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of the chipotle and adobo, or chipotle and adobo, you know, from Jersey. Chipotle and adobo, you know? Lord, I apologize. So 2 tablespoons going in. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of honey. That's the sweet. If you can't do honey or you don't like honey, you can use actually like brown sugar, you can use agave, or you can use white sugar or other sweeteners in this as well. You could use stevia to keep it sugar-free. There's lots of different alternatives, or maple syrup would be good too. So also a key tip, when you're using any type of like corn syrup or any type of viscous liquid like honey, always want to make sure that you spray the inside of the container with like nonstick or like Pam, or butter it up. What that does is kind of like natural ball bearings. That's going to do is it's going to release easier, and it's not going to leave everything inside. So as I do this, you'll see it just released right away. So that's what we're looking for. You know, it just makes cleanup easier, because I don't know about you, I'm the cook and the dishwasher. So I got to make sure that I make it easier on myself. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into a half of fresh orange juice. This is when you want to use really good citrus, like fresh squeezed lime and fresh squeezed orange juice, because the bottled stuff doesn't taste the same. By all means, if you have only the bottled stuff, go ahead and use it. It's not gonna hurt you. It's just you get the really nice oils and the brightness and the flavor from the fresh stuff. So in going a half an orange juiced. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to add in a half a cup of olive oil, or a quarter cup, sorry. Pan's getting a little too hot, no worries, you know. If it's too hot in the kitchen, you know, too many cooks, it's too hot, you go find somewhere else. So then we're gonna add in the spices. So we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and then 1 teaspoon of onion powder down here. And if you don't like chili powder, or if you want more garlic powder, by all means put it in. This is literally just a guideline. This is just a set of key ingredients. But if you like more garlic, put in garlic. If you like cumin or coriander, put in those too, because it's only gonna enhance the flavor. So I hope that you guys post these pictures and tag me. You know, I'm on Facebook and social media and Instagram. You know, Chef Mike 86 is my handle. Shout out. You know, I'm not sponsored by Chipotle's yet, but I will. So just kidding. But make sure, I would love to see you guys doing these recipes and seeing your take. You know, maybe you use another protein. Maybe you use fish. Maybe you use beef. Maybe you use any type of tempeh or fried tofu. Whatever you want, it's easier to do. So in goes the spices. Oh, and a little bit of salt goes in there as well. So now what I have is this mixture. It's all mixed up. I'm gonna use my hands once I get it in there. So I have 3 chicken breasts, just cut into cubes, nothing fancy. When you're doing these, it doesn't have to be. The key when you're cooking is you want to make sure everything is consistently the same size. Because if one piece is smaller than the other, what's going to happen? The smaller piece is going to cook faster than the larger. It's the same with your vegetables. Everything you want, if you're doing a stew or if you're doing just a quick saute, you always want to make sure that your vegetables or your meats or whatever you're using is always the same size so it cooks evenly. And don't worry, like, you can't get a chicken breast perfectly cut into cubes. It's okay, because honestly, then it looks more rustic and it looks like you made it, because it's not like pre-packaged, you know, individually quick frozen pieces of meat. So in goes the chicken. Now, this is the fun part. I don't know about you, but I like to play with my food. You know, that's what I do for a living, and I just want to be able to get down and dirty. But you can do this in a bag. A resealable bag works really well, so you can do that as well. Or you can put it in a bowl and let that go too. So don't worry, it will be easy enough if you don't have, you know, you don't like getting your hands in there and getting dirty. But trust me, like once you do this, it's, you know, it's like you feel like a kid. It's like paint by numbers, but inside of raw chicken. So as you can see, I just mixed it all up. You want it evenly mixed. As you can see, it's nice and marinating. I have another one over here that's been marinated. We're gonna marinate it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Let me wash my hands really quick. Just wanna make sure that I don't contaminate anything. Always when you're using or maintaining raw chicken or anything like that, you always want to have separate cutting boards because it's definitely, you don't want any cross-contamination. So even when you have, like if you put chicken on the grill or any raw meat on the grill, you want to have one set of tongs that's for raw and one set of tongs for cooked. And just make sure, you don't want any type of illness or you don't want any type of bacteria getting inside you. So just make sure that you maintain two separate cutting boards and different utensils for the raw and cooked. That was paid for by the Chicken Council, by the way. So I'm gonna turn back on these pans. Now we're gonna get started. While that's marinated, we're gonna get started on the corn for the elote. So I have 4 ears of corn that I've chopped off the cob. But I had to show you one ear because this is the coolest trick ever. I don't know if you guys know this. So I have one bigger bowl, okay? I have one smaller bowl. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, you're gonna flip it over so it looks like that, okay? Because what happens when you take your corn and you put it down on the cutting board and you cut, what happens? It literally goes everywhere but where you want it to go in your dish. So what happens is you put the corn inside the bowl, see? So now, when you're cutting, it goes into the bowl and not outside the bowl. Huh? I know, pretty cool. I was pretty amazed when I learned that trick in one of the restaurants I worked at. Because you pay good money and you want to use quality ingredients, and this corn's local, and so I want to pay homage. I want every kernel to go in the dish. So when you're doing this, all you want to do is go down the side like you're doing in a regular corn on the cob, but see, as you can tell by as I cut and turn, all that corn is going down inside, huh? How cool is that? I know you guys will be going to the bar and be like, hey, check out this. This is the best bar trick ever. Like, you don't have this? Buy me the next round because I just showed you how to cut corn and it's not going anywhere. I'm just kidding. Like, you do you with your corn. Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm pretty corny. I know. I'm not a real dad, I'm a fur dad, so I get to throw out all the dad jokes. That's just what it is. I'm eligible now, thank you. We got a puppy, a golden retriever during COVID, and her name's Tilly Mae. Shout out to Tilly Mae on Instagram. But she's the 1-year-old golden retriever and she's red. She's the light of my life. She's my therapy dog, helps me with my transplants. But really good overall mental health, I think I talked to the dog more than I talked to my fiance. Okay, let me round that up. Like in Fight Club, what happens in here stays here. Kind of that comment stays in this video. Doesn't go elsewhere. I know who you guys are. Okay, but for real, she has been fantastic. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna saute the corn. Get it nice and toasty. It's not necessary. You can totally eat corn raw, but I like to soften it a little bit to make it more edible in the salad because I like the crunch. So we're just gonna briefly saute it, not till it's fully cooked through because you still want that nice fresh corn bite. And if you don't like corn, you can do this same style elote you can do it with squash, you can do it with any type of zucchini, you can do it with broccoli, cauliflower, grilled you can do the same thing with French fries, or grilled sweet potatoes, and then dress them with this elote sauce and cotija. That's a killer app that people will love, I guarantee it. All right, so in the pan, what we're gonna do is we're going to add in on medium heat. Make sure when you're doing this, the biggest thing I see with home cooks versus professional cooks is they don't let their pans heat up. The point of being able to get a nice sear or a nice crust on something is to let the pan and the oil heat up together, and right before the smoking point is when the oil starts to burn. Every olive oil, every oil has it. It's just a matter of finding which ones. Like canola oil, grapeseed, avocado oil, those all have high smoke points, meaning that you can really get a nice crust because the oil's not gonna break down and burn. I wouldn't recommend cooking at a high heat with like extra virgin olive oil because that has a low smoke point. You wanna use that for like your salads and your dressings or to finish a nice piece of fish or steak. But you can definitely use light olive oil to cook with, and that's what we're gonna do today. So just to clarify, there's your little oil lesson, but I just wanna make sure that you guys are more in tune of which oils to use, because I don't want you to have that acrid, bitter taste when the oil breaks down and you can't figure out why your food tastes like acidic and acrid and burnt. All right, so with this, when we saute, it means to jump. It means to jump out of the pan. So we're gonna get this hot, get it like a medium high right before it comes to a smoke. That's when we're going to add in the corn. So we're almost here. It's getting there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in that delicious, delicious corn. Just like this, yeah? I know, it's so good. Like when you go and buy corn, you can use frozen. So good. You can buy frozen, you can use canned. If you do that, just don't cook those. Just thaw them out or rinse them off and just make sure they're really dry. Like pat them with a dry paper towel because you don't want that extra moisture that's gonna sog out your dressing. So, hear that sizzle? You can only get that sizzle is if your pan and your oil is hot enough. That's what we're looking for, all right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it alone, okay? So see, it's just one equal layer, nothing fancy. Also, I'm gonna throw a lot of the guys under the bus. I've seen some women too, but it's mainly guys. You know, you're outside, you're having your beverage of choice, you're by the grill, you put the piece of chicken or the ribs or the burgers on, and they put them on, and you think everything's fine. But then, when they flip them, they push down on said patty. My mind, and I wanna shake them. Let the grill or the pan do its work. It can't caramelize or get golden brown, AKA GBD, golden brown and delicious, if you keep messing with it. So you gotta let it do its job. So this is gonna sit between 2 and 3 minutes, and then I'll toss it, and that's when we're gonna add in the other ingredients, okay? Cool beans. So in the meantime, I've been through a lot, health-wise, and my attitude is everything, and especially with COVID. COVID's been hard, and so this truly is, being able to do this with you today, even virtually, is truly my mental health. It's truly my going to therapy, per se. It really helps me, so I truly appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this, because this is, it's hard right now. You don't have to put on a face. You don't have to be able to say that you're okay if you're not okay. And it's okay to be not okay. Wait, did I say that? Yeah, right. Just know that that's what you find your niche. Cooking, that's for me. You have to find an outlet, a hobby, something to do, whether it's walking, riding a bike, reading a book. Find something that you can get your own stress out. Because it's really important, especially during this time, that you get it out. And that's why when Tracy, my fiance, she can tell when I'm a little bit more upset because it's more spicy. So she, there's little barriers. If she's sweating her head off, she knows. Okay, we need to chat. But for real, just make sure mental health is important, just as physical health is. So just that little snippet, I just feel really passionate about that because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my positive attitude and knowing that the whole everything's going to be okay, but just trying to keep the best mentality when those days aren't the best. So. Corn gets flipped. Now we're going down with the garlic. 1 teaspoon of garlic. And then in goes the jalapenos. Like I said, you can cut back on that. Oh. Can you smell it? You know what? Callie, I said in the email, you were supposed to pay your subscription to Smell-O-Vision. These people can't smell it. I don't know what happened. Got lost in translation, but they can't smell it, and that's a bummer. In goes salt and pepper, a little bit, and then the pepper, we're going in with the, just make sure, if you don't want to do the toss, that's fine. You can use a spatula. That definitely works out to be that way as well. And I'm just trying to find, there we go. Here's the pepper. Oh man, it smells so good. Oh. So delicious. See, that's it. That's all we're gonna do. So we're gonna take this off the heat, let this rest for a quick hot second, because we just wanna get it to cool down. Now we're gonna get started on that chicken, the main event. That's why you're all here. It's the honey-chipotle pollo loco, AKA crazy chicken tacos. They're so good. You could eat these. You could eat these all day long. And the best part is, when you put the iceberg on, I know it's iceberg, has no nutritional value, but there's a juiciness with iceberg that you can't get with any other. You could use arugula, you could use watercress, all these fancy pinkies out lettuce. You could totally do that, and that's fine. But for this, it's like when you eat a fresh BLT or you eat a burger, that juiciness, the crunch. It's so crunchy, you need that because everything's soft. When you're eating, you want to have lots of texture. So that's what we're gonna do today, is make a lot of texture so that you have the soft with the crunchy and those balance each other out. So, oh man, it smells so good. That corn, I could just literally just go in the corner in the fetal position and eat that corn. That might be TMI, but at this point I don't care because it's delicious. And if you're gonna do it, go big or go home. Or come here and then go home big. But I guarantee you're gonna like the corn. So now what we're gonna do is, like I said, I have the chicken going, and it's going to, we're gonna add in more oil because it already has a little bit of oil in here. So this has been, like I said, this is, I have very little Food Network budget on these videos, but what I do have is Food Network magic. So I have 2 of these and they're the exact same. So, and you can either cook them, you can either mix it up and then cook it, because what you're doing is creating a seasoning and a sauce, or you can put this in a baggie or close this up, let it go for like a day, 2 days, and it'll be so delicious, okay? So either way, make sure that you do it. All right, so pan's getting hot. I'm gonna take a little bit of the liquid out, or I'm just gonna spoon it with a slotted spoon, because I just don't want too much of that. But don't worry, if you put all of it in with it, it's just gonna reduce and glaze on the chicken. And like, I don't know about you, when you see that nice juicy sheen or the glaze on something, it just makes it that more appetizing. You turn on a little, maybe Marvin Gaye or some Barry Manilow, and you just hang out and eat some tacos. So in goes the chicken. Oh man, it smells so good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that get a crunch, you know? We're not going to touch it. We're gonna let that sear. Searing means high heat and letting it get all crusty and delicious, because that's what we're all about. We're making sure that we can get that nice crust, because why? That's right. The flavor is in the brown, meaning golden brown and delicious. So while that's going, that should, you know, cook for another, 8 to 10 minutes until it's cooked through. And that's when, you know, we can pull it off and we'll set it aside, because it's so, so delicious. Just cleaning up a little bit at the same time. All right, so while that goes, in this bowl, this is the lightened up portion of the elote salad. By all means, you can use sour cream and mayo, regular mayo. It'll obviously be delicious, but the flavor of this with these light ingredients are going to be just as delicious. So in the bowl, kind of see, I have 2 tablespoons of whole fat Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt's better than mayo. I mean, better than sour cream, any type of that. You know, you're just getting that nice creaminess, but I love Greek yogurt because of the tang. The tang is why I'm here today. I'm pro tang. Can't even say that with a straight face. Then, on the side right here, we have 2 tablespoons of light mayo. Again, you can use full fat mayo, you can use vegan mayo, you can use vegan almond milk yogurt. I know they make those, I get them for my fiance. So you can make all these things vegan or vegetarian. They make so many great products out now. They even make a vegan cotija that we're gonna use. So try them because they are delicious. They're a little bit more spendy, but it's a great because you can be included with the dinner and not be like, it's like a nuisance that you have to say about your dietary needs, you know? See, look at the crust on that. That's what we're looking for. And why that does that is because of the sugars. The sugars in the honey, they start to caramelize, and that's what makes it so delicious. And that's why you're gonna get that nice crust. But this is not something that you want to walk away from. You want to make sure that you don't go, do the laundry or things like that, because it won't, you're gonna burn, is what I'm trying to say. The sugar burns faster, it cooks faster. So you can't do it, you can't go do something else. You have to pay attention because it will go fast, and that's what you don't want to have happen. Because it'll go from golden brown to black in a heartbeat. And though it's salvageable, you can cut off the black pieces, you just don't want that that to happen if you can hold on to it, if that makes sense. So these, in the recipe, I cut them larger, but if you cut them smaller, they're gonna cook faster. But as you can see, look at the crust on that chicken. I'll just stay out of the video. You guys, if you wanna just, you can take a picture, use it as your screensaver, I would be eternally grateful. But so we're gonna let this rest. Resting is key. Why? Oh, Joseph from Montana, thanks for the question. Resting allows it to relax. Whenever you cook something, it's high, it's agitated, it's upset, you gotta let it relax a little bit. Anytime you're doing turkey or you're doing a huge roast beef or anything like that, you always wanna make sure that it relaxes, because you're gonna have the juices redistribute, and that's a good thing, because if you cut into it, all those juices, I'm sure you've seen where they just cut and they go straight onto your board. That's not what we're looking for. You want all those beautiful juices to go into your taco, right? That's why we rest this. All right, so we got this. Now I'm just gonna wipe this out because we're gonna use this pan again. to make it the quesadilla style. Perfect. Can you see that? Oh, smells so good. You can smell the sweetness and the smokiness, but the tanginess from the adobo is so delicious. And you got the garlic and the onion powder and the chili powder. You can use any type of chili powder you want. You know, you can use light, you can use dark, you can use a combination, because when you buy chili powder in the grocery store, you're not just getting one chili. Chili powder is a blend of chilies. So if you want, I know there's so many great Hispanic markets in Portland, and I'm bummed because we just recently moved to Vancouver. But I'm grateful, but I'm bummed because there's not as many markets up here. But they're so great and they're so helpful. But when you go in and you can ask them, any taqueria or panaderia, like any of those, you can go in and they'll be super helpful, but they'll have whole walls of spices. And you can just get like ancho chilies or chipotle or guajillo that are all different goods to play with. And you can ask them, like, how spicy is this one? Like guajillo chili is the sauce that you could make like enchilada sauce. That's one of my favorite chilies because it's not hot. It's just a really nice chili flavor. So play around with it. That's the great thing and fun about cooking is you can play around and make it your own. So back to the corn. So we had the Greek yogurt and the light mayo in there. Then what we're going to do is you're going to put the corn mixture into the bowl. And it's cool enough, you know, you could spread it on a sheet tray if you wanted to, or a baking sheet and let that cool down. But this it'll be cool enough where it won't harm anything. And if it is still warm, that's fine. Because once you put it into the fridge, or if you're eating it right away because you can't, it's intoxicating with the smell, it'll totally be fine as well. So we're gonna mix up the corn and the mayo. Oh man, it smells so delicious. Oh man, and then once that heat hits the Greek yogurt, it just perfumes, and you get that nice aroma of the tang. Like, I don't know if you have something vinegary, like all of a sudden, you know, it's like the back of your jowls start to like water, like I have to like roll my tongue back up because it's so like the smell is so delicious. Then what we're gonna do is basically you're just gonna add in all the ingredients for the elote. So you're going to add in cotija cheese, and this is where you can use, so cotija is like a really crumbly cheese. It's like a Mexican version of Parmesan. But you can use queso fresco, you can use any other queso asadero, all these amazing cheeses, and you can get them, a lot of them in your regular grocery store these days, in the refrigerated section or near the Hispanic aisle, or the international aisle, I guess is what they call it. But you can definitely, they make a vegan cheese, but this I love. I love on anything, it works really good. I make a killer Caesar salad, and I don't know if you know, but Caesar salad was invented down south in Mexico. But cotija works on a great Caesar salad instead of Parmesan. But side note. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons. I just like to make it rain, that's right. I was the OG, you know, cotija bay before there was Salt Bay. So that's going in. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of cilantro, and that's just chopped. The same thing. Cilantro is one of those, like, you either love it or you hate it. And it's crazy. It's the enzyme, you know, that makes it taste like soap. And some people have it. I could eat cilantro on anything. And coriander is actually the seed of cilantro, and that is equally delicious. So if you don't like the flavor of the full-on cilantro, try out coriander. It's a really predominant flavor in like corned beef and pastrami, but it's really good in Latin dishes, and it adds to the richness of your dish. So cheese and cilantro go in. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. You guys, I don't know what happened, but it'll happen on the next time, smell-o-vision for sure. I got you. I got you. Then you're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of ancho chili powder. Now this is one of those things, you can go to the Mexican market and you can find these chilies. I love ancho chili powder because I describe it as like a spicy raisin. It's a little sweet, a little smoky, and a little spicy. It's not that hot, because a ancho chili powder, or ancho chili is, before it's dried, is a poblano pepper, fresh. So if you can imagine the flavor of a poblano, it's still got a little spice and a great chili flavor, but when you dry it out, it becomes nice and nutty and a little bitter and sweet, and that's gonna all complement the richness of the cheese and the tang from the yogurt. So in goes the chili powder. Then the best part, fresh squeezed lime juice, because you can't not have elote without lime. Lime is like the kicker. It's like the thing that takes it from, like if you go to an orchestra and you can only hear like the bass drum and the clarinets and the horns, and then you go, boom, and it's like all of a sudden you can hear the timpani and you can hear the cymbals and you can hear the vocals, and it's like a full-on flavor fest. That's what adding acid does to your food. Any type of lemon, vinegar, citrus, any type of that. It just wakes everything up and makes it so delicious. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stir this all together. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. One of the biggest things when you make this, look at that. I mean, it looks delicious and it's healthy. People won't, I guarantee if you took this to a potluck, this would go before the bag of chips. I guarantee it. Or you could take those chips and dip them in this healthy, delicious corn salsa, you could call it. Take the recipe, call it your own. Be like, this is my stellar jalapeno corn salsa. And it would be delicious. One of the biggest things when I find and I teach these demos is people don't taste what they create. How do you know what it tastes like? And then how do you know what the flavor is to your guests? How do you describe what it is? So always have some tasting spoons. If you're in a relationship or you go through a lot of teaspoons, make sure you get some plastic ones or some reusable ones, because my fiance would come down, all of them would be gone. But she enjoyed the food, right? So it's a win-win. So always make sure you taste and season. Boom. It's sweet. It's tart. It's tangy. It's savory. And then the brightness from the cilantro breaks up all the cheese. It's so good. That's what you want to do when you want to eat. You want to have that full flavor fest, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, savory. And then the fifth sense, the umami. It's like that mushroom or that sense. You can't really pick up what it is. It's like truffle oil or things like that. But when you eat, you always want to have those main, the sweet, sour, salty, bitter, savory, all when you take that bite, because that's a complete bite. And me as a cook, that's what I strive for. Every single time I cook and you eat my food, I always want to make sure I have all those components in there, because that will end up being a better experience for your meal, and it's a win-win, because you'll come back and you'll thank me because you've had this corn and you can't get it anywhere else. So it's like a insurance policy. So what we're gonna do is we're going to let this pan cool down really quick. I'm gonna use this other pan. Perfect. So, as this salad only gets better as it continues. So if you make it today and you cover it and you put it in the fridge for tomorrow, it'll be tremendously better. But at the same time, if you can't resist, it's still gonna be good. But it's like if you make a meatloaf, or if you have Thanksgiving leftovers, the only reason to do Thanksgiving is for the leftovers, for the turkey sandwiches, etc. That's what's gonna happen. So if you can just put it in your fridge and forget about it for 2 days, the flavors will be even more meld together. But like I said, like I'm gonna serve it today, it's gonna still be delicious. So now we're gonna make this taco, because it's Taco Tuesday. But every day is Taco Tuesday. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of only having the man tell you that you only have to eat tacos on Tuesday. I'm here to break that. So that's why we're still doing tacos on Tuesday, but you can do the same taco every day of the week. Right? I know. That's why I get paid the big bucks, to come with that information right here. It's all those hard-hitting statements that you just gotta go with, So, we're gonna build this taco. Now remember, I said quesadilla style. You guys are like, so what does that mean? What are we doing with quesadilla style? What that means is we're going to take the tortilla, and for this, I like flour. They make great gluten-free tortillas. They make grain-free tortillas, any type of things, but I like flour because it gives you that chew that corn doesn't. But I've done corn. I'm an equal opportunity tortilla eater. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I am. So when you do that, just make sure that you watch, because the corn's gonna burn more easily. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the tortilla, put it in this pan, and let it get warm. Because why? Because we're gonna cheese it up. So when you put you put cheese on the top? Well, not today. We're gonna toast it up on the bottom. I know, you guys are super impressed. They're gonna make this delicious taco. So, as you can see, it's just the tortilla on the bottom with just a little bit of cheese. That's it, nothing else. We're just gonna turn it on medium-low and let this get happy. As you know, when you buy your cheese, this is another big thing. When you buy your cheese, you can buy it pre-grated. That's okay, We'll still be friends, we'll still hang out, we'll still watch Saturday morning cartoons. That's fine. But when you could buy the whole block yourself and grate it, it's so much better. Because one, when you buy the pre-ground or the pre-shredded cheese, they put an anti-caking agent inside. I know, big word, that's the biggest word I know. This just means that they won't clump up, which is fine when you're making something that you need it to melt evenly, like a fondue, which the anti-caking actually works to your advantage because it clumps up and makes your fondue. But what you want to do is, when you're doing that, always grate your cheese fresh, because yes, it will stick together, but it's also the meltability of it. That's right, hashtag meltability is so much higher. It'll melt faster and it won't clump up and be in one big mess when you make, say, like a mac and cheese or a bechamel, which is the white sauce, that you turn into a mornay, which is the cheese sauce for your macaroni and cheese. So if you can, grate it fresh, you'll notice a difference. But if you can't, use really good cheese. Go to your local grocery store and ask what's local, and support local and try to, but you can't, I always love Tillamook. Tillamook's a good go-to. Done a lot of cooking demos using Tillamook, and I'm still waiting, I'm not sponsored yet, but I will be. So just make sure that you take that extra time and it'll be worth it, I promise you. So as you can see, it's getting nice and melty, as I should say, SMC. It's like, Mike, what's SMC? Super melty cheese? That's right, super melty cheese. That's what we're going for, because when you bite into this taco, it's gonna string like you have a mozzarella stick, because the shreddability is high on this one. That was a very like a Yoda phrase. The cheesybility on this one is strong, wise one. You know what? I don't know why I come up with these things. It's just, I'm just blessed. So, as you can see, it's nice and melty. and the bottom's getting all nice and happy. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some tongs really quick. And we're going to plate this up. Because I know you guys are hungry, because I'm hungry as well. So we're gonna take that and we're going to serve up this delicious salad. Gonna put this tortilla on. We're gonna serve up this salad. And because, you know, I'm cheesy, gotta do this. Just a little bit more cheese. Couple lime wedges, you know, gotta make it legit. Then some little cilantro on top. And now we're gonna build this taco. So the best part is you don't have to do it, you can do it any way you want. I like to go down with the chicken down first. I know, the silence is killing, I know. You know, I need like elevator hold music, or maybe, you know, some Eye of the Tiger while I'm building. You like some pump up music, you know? I just, you know, I feel it, I feel good. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna add in some lettuce on top. You can use the pre-grated stuff, or I cut it, you know. Look at that. It's so thin it only has one side. That's right, that's what happens. Big old lettuce on top. Then you're gonna go in and you're going to drizzle with some sour cream. And you're gonna top off with your favorite salsa. And then some green onions. And then a little bit more cotija, because, you know, I'm pretty cheesy. Just gotta make sure you guys know what's up. And then just make it rain cilantro over the whole thing. And a little bit of the sauce. And here is a delicious, sexy honey chipotle chicken taco, quesadilla style, with fresh lettuce, cheese, pico, your favorite salsa, cotija. Then you move over. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, look at that. That salad is just saying, hey, eat me. So good. The corn, the freshness of the corn, the sourness from the lime, and the tartness from the yogurt with the creaminess of the cheese and the pop from the corn, and then the chicken with the taco, the little orange bite, but the smoky and the sweet. Oh, it's like a complete package, just like me. You have to admit, that one was the best one. That's the best one right there, you know? I do what I can, I'm Mr. Mike, Mighty Mike, I'm here to stay, I'm Magic Mike's other brother. He just doesn't know it. So, here it is again. I'm so grateful. I super hope you guys make these for Taco Tuesday, because it is so delicious. It's heartwarming, it's soul satisfying, it's delicious. So I just want to say thank you again for having me. This has been a blast. I love talking about tacos. I love talking about mental health. It's a thing that's really near and dear to my heart because I'm open about it and I want everybody else to be super powerful and be your own best advocate. So thank you again for being here. And I just want to leave you with one last piece of advice. If you don't listen to anything else that I say, listen to this, okay? Are you guys listening? Put down those phones. I know you guys are listening. Okay, here we go. Ready? If anything else, listen to one last piece of advice. Remember, as always, love, peace, and taco grease. Have a killer, legit Taco Tuesday, and I hope you guys tag me on Instagram, any social media, bring them to Callie and she can message me. I would love to see you guys and your interpretation of these tacos. So again, Chef Mike signing off. I look forward to another demo with you guys, and hopefully when things get better and better in person and we can all celebrate taco style, all right? Have a good night, everybody. Bye.